Welcome to our SST class today. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 7 of page number 55, and the name of the chapter is Types and Elements of Maps. Before starting the chapter, like other days also, we will do the activity that is given in a box. So take your pencil and start doing it. Here are some statements. 6 statements are given here, and there is a picture of a globe. So you will read all those statements, and if you know the statement, only then you will put a tick in the box. And those statements which are not known to you, you will not put your tick in those box. Okay. So let me explain the statements. A globe, that is a model of the earth, shows where land and water are on earth. Second one is, globes cannot give too many details about a place. Globe can give us only an idea but not the details. Maps can give many more details than a globe. So a map is much more informative than a globe. There are many different kinds of maps. So after reading the chapter, you will know what are the types of maps. But there are different types of maps. An atlas, I hope all of you have heard this name, is a book that has maps. Maps are also found on the internet. Yes, if you make a search in the internet, you can see so many maps. So you will only tick those statements which are known to you. Now let us move to the chapter. Our first topic of this chapter is types of maps. Maps can give a lot more information about the earth than globes. I have already told you that. They are special drawings of a place that show how it would look if seen from above. So if you see a place from above, from the top, how it looks, that can be given through a map. That can be explained through a map. Photographs taken from the air or by satellites help to make accurate. What is the meaning of accurate? Everybody underline this word. This is a key word of this chapter. Accurate means without any mistake. So to make accurate map, you need to take photograph from the air or by satellite. There are different types of maps. All the types you will underline. The first one is physical maps. Now what is a physical map? These maps give the natural features of a place, like the mountains, like the rivers, the seas, lakes, etc. So the map which gives us information about these things like mountains, seas, rivers, all the natural things, that map is called a physical map. You will underline physical map and you will learn the definition also. Number 2 is political map. Now what is a political map? The map that shows the boundaries and places made by people and governments like countries, states, capitals, cities and other important places. Now in our country there are so many states. Now how you will find out a state? There is a definite boundary of a state and that boundary has been allotted or has been marked by the government itself. So the map that gives us idea about all these things, that where the state, from where to where the state is expanded. All this information about the country, about the state, about the capital, the map that gives us is called a political map. And the last one is a thematic map. Now these maps give information about special topics. So thematic maps can be on different topics or themes. And the topics can be about rainfall, about crops, about industries, roads, railways, everything. Okay. So depending on the topic, you can make an entire map. That will be called a thematic map. So these are the 3 different types of maps. You will underline the definitions in your book and you will read them. Now let us move to page number 56. On the top you will get the picture of three types of maps: the physical map, the political map and the thematic map. Okay, and now I am going to show you the slides of these 3 types of maps. I hope you will like it. First the physical map, then the political map and then the thematic map. Okay. Now you can find all these types of maps if you have an atlas, that is the book of maps. Now let us see what is given in the did you know part. The art of map making is called cartography. Everybody will underline this word, cartography. What is cartography? Cartography is the art of map making. People who make maps are called cartographers. Again underline cartographers. Okay. Now we will move to the next topic. Understanding size in maps. So to follow a map, it is important to understand what is size. The information in maps must be accurate. We have already learned that. It must be accurate without any mistake. We should be able to tell what the actual size and shape of the land is by looking at the map. This is how it is done. There are two processes of doing this one, from where you can have an actual idea by seeing the maps. But before that, we will have to know what is a scale. Underline the word scale in page number 56. Scale means the connection between the actual size of something and the size that is drawn on the map. Definitely you cannot draw the actual size in a map. It is a short form of the entire area, isn't it? So you cannot put the exact size of a state or of an area in your map. So how we will measure it? For that you need to know what is a scale. So scale means the connection between the actual size of something and the size that is drawn on the map. Okay? For that we will have to explain these things. The example. This line, can you see a line? Yes, this line is 5 centimeter long. Okay? Now you can show this line by a shorter line which takes less space. The same line can be shown by a shorter line because your space is limited in a map, that is of 10 millimeter. So when you are showing a 5 centimeter line in the form of a 10 millimeter line, it is written as 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter format. Okay? And this format is called a scale. Now go to the yellow box that is given just beside it. The smaller line represents the bigger line. Okay? 5 centimeter is represented by 10 millimeter. This means 1 centimeter is represented by 2 millimeter. This is a simple mathematical equation. Okay? If the line is 5 centimeter and I am expressing it through a line of 10 millimeter, that means we are using a scale of 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. This is the measurement of our scale. Now there are two particular terms of these uses of this scale. And these particular terms are scaling down and scaling up. All of you move to page number 57. The first one is scaling down. Just see the rectangle A. What is the longer side? 5 centimeters. So there is a box given beside the yellow box. You will have to look at the rectangle A and you will have to write down rectangle A is 5 centimeter on its longer side. And on its shorter side, it is 4 centimeter. Okay. Now there is a small rectangle B just beside it. Can you see that? Yes. Now this small rectangle B is the small representation of that rectangle A. Why? Rectangle B is 10 millimeter on its longer side and 8 millimeter on its shorter side. Okay. So here rectangle B is drawn to a scale of 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. That scale we have just learned in the previous page. It is an accurate representation of rectangle A. And this method of drawing an exact and accurate representation using a scale is called scaling down. Underline the term scaling down. We are presenting the big rectangle A through a small rectangle B by following the process scaling down. And the scale we are using here is 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. Is it clear to all? Now in this way we can present it accurately without doing any mistake. And you will take your pencil and you will fill in the blanks in that yellow box. Next is scaling up. Rectangle C, another rectangle. Can you see that brown rectangle? Yes. Is drawn to the scale of 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. Following the same scale, we have drawn this rectangle also. Work out the exact size of the rectangle that rectangle C represents. What is the width of the rectangle C? 8 divided by 2, that is 4 centimeter, because we are using 2 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter scale. And what is the length of rectangle C? 12 divided by 2, that is 6 centimeter. Again using the same scale. Okay. So when we use the scale to work out what is the actual size of a place, it is called scaling up. So sometimes we need to use the scale to work out the actual size of a place is. And this procedure, this way of following the scale is called scaling up. All maps are drawn to scale in the same way. Okay, they are drawn by following the process of scaling down, and they are measured by following the process of scaling up. The scale is usually given in one corner of the map. In this way, can you see a scale showing 1 centimeter is equal to 50 kilometer given just beside this line? Yes. So in this way, the scale is usually given in the corner of the map. That's all about scale. I hope all of you have understood. If you have still any doubt, you can directly write to me in my personal WhatsApp. Okay? Now reading maps. Page number 57. Next topic is reading maps. Colors. When you look at a physical map, you will see that it has many colors. Right? We have already seen some maps, and in those maps we have seen the use of different colors. These colors have meanings which help us to understand the map. These colors are used to give us a clear concept, to make us understand what the map is. Now all of you move to page number 57. A map of physical features of India shows the land in several colors. These represent the different heights of the land. The sea too is shown in different shades of blue. So the map is representing the sea by using different shades of blue. And why? These tell us how deep the sea is. Beside the map you can see an information box. Always there is an information box given beside the map. This is called the legend. Underline the word legend. This is called the legend. It is the key. Underline this statement, this sentence everybody. It is the key that unlocks the meaning of all the colors. Here also one box is given. Can you see the box? Yes. The first one is a mauve colored box. Mauve shows the highest mountains that are always snow covered. So the color mauve is used to depict snow. Brown, next one is brown. Brown shows high mountains that are lower than the highest mountains. Okay, so brown is used to show the high mountains, not the highest one. Next is yellow. Yellow shows high land like plateaus, tableland. Remember the previous chapter. So to depict land of considerable height, that is like plateaus or tableland, we use yellow color. Dark green is used to represent lowland, land that is almost at the same level as the sea, that is of sea level. Last is light blue, shows the part of the sea that is less deep. This is near the land. So light blue means the sea part which is not that much deep and which is quite near to the land. Colors are also used in thematic maps to give various kinds of information depending on which theme you are making the map. This is explained in the legend beside the map. The same way giving a legend, here a typical legend is given. Given a legend, you can explain your theme. In political maps, different colors are used to show the different countries or even the different states. Look at maps in your atlas and at the legends beside the maps to understand what the colors mean. So all of you need to take an atlas. If in this condition you cannot have an atlas, you can see the maps in the internet also. So you will see the maps and you can also get the legends given just beside the map to understand it. Next topic is symbols. Symbols. Now what is symbol? Symbols are spatial signs used in maps. These are the sign. And what is sign here? Sign means the theme, that is a hint given. So symbols are spatial signs used in maps. Each symbol has a meaning. This is given in the legend. So each symbol is explained in the legend. Can you see a box just beside these where some symbols are explained? Like colored symbols also help us to read and understand maps. So to understand a map, we need symbols. We need legend, colored boxes. Now some symbols that are given in the box are country capital, state capital, other towns, international boundary, state boundary, river and peak. Enough to understand. So all these are the topics or the signs or the symbols that are used. Now in the did you know part, the earliest maps made by people were not on paper. They were made on whatever material was available. It may be stone, it may be clay. They used to make maps over these things. And the last topic of this chapter is direction. All of you know the meaning of direction. Directions cross shows the four main directions. And one picture is also given in page number 59. That is a picture of a direction cross. And here the four directions we can see. We already know there are four directions main. Four main directions, that is the north, south, east and west, which you already learnt. Now four other directions lie between these four main directions. These are northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. And you can easily find that in this diagram, a direction cross. Usually the direction north is shown as being the upper part of the map. And this helps us to understand where the other directions are. So can you see all the directions in a direction cross? Okay. Now the words that I have already asked you to underline, you will follow those words. You will follow the definitions of those words. Now we will move to page number 60 to do the exercises which you will do like all other classes. I am again repeating. You will do it in your book only. Question answers I am sending you to write in your copy. But these objective type questions should be done in the book only. So let us start. The first one is fill in the blanks. Maps are of dashed kinds or types, whatever it is. What will be the answer? 3 kinds. We have already learnt. Even somebody can write different kinds. That will also be the right answer. But we are doing it here. 3. Number 2. The information in maps must be dash. It should be without any mistake. That is accurate. Number 3. The direction northwest is between dash and dash. North and west. Between south and east is the direction southeast. Okay. Let us move to the next one. What is the next one? Match the following. First one, physical map. What will be the match? Number D, shows mountains, rivers, lakes, etc. Number 2, thematic map. What will be the match? Number E, gives information about special topics. Number 3, political map. Now what will be the correct match for this one? Number B, shows countries, capitals and other cities. Okay. Number 4, scale down. So scale down will be the match for number A. Draw an exact and accurate representation of a place. Number 5, scale up. Scale up means number C. Work out what the actual size of a place is. Okay. Okay. Let us move to the next one, crossword. I am only giving you the clues. You will write them in your book. First one, without any mistakes, means what will be the word? Accurate. Number 2, a book of maps. Everybody knows the answer. It will be atlas. Number 3, signs with meanings in maps. That will be called symbols. Number 4, the key to reading a map. Number 4 will be legend. Number 5, this is used to represent the size of land in a map. Okay, where is number 5? It will be, So number 5 will be scale. This is used to represent the size of land in a map. Number 6, a model of the earth, that will be globe. Number 7, there are 4 main ones of these. We have already just learned, that is directions. So that's all about crossword hints. I am giving you the words, you will write them in the proper place in your book. Next is write true false. You will only write true false, no correction of false sentences. First one, globes are as useful as maps in helping us to learn about the earth. That will be false. Maps are much more informative. Number 2, all maps are scaled down representations of an area. This is very true. Number 3, colors are used in maps to give special information. Again, this is true. Number 4, the symbols in maps do not have any meaning. This is totally false. Last one, number 5, usually the direction north is the upper side of a map. We have learned this is true. Okay, so that's all about the chapter. It's a small one. All of you will prepare it properly, do the work in the book and start reading the chapter. Again, you are going to have another exam after 1 or 2 months. Okay, so get yourself prepared from the very beginning and write down the question answers that I have sent you in your copy. So that's all for today. Take care and stay well.